Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where we'll learn English. In this lesson, we're digging into some advice from Ryan Reynolds. So why choose Ryan Reynolds? Well, a new Deadpool movie is coming out. And also, there's a lot of celebrities that run their own business, but I would say that Ryan Reynolds is a little bit different, so he's not a typical business guy. In marketing, you have to understand who is your target audience. You need to define their customer journey. What are the pain points? You have to work with a lot of data. Ryan does things his own way, and it works. Instead of following boring marketing advice, he shakes things up and has fun with it.
Just do it. Everyone I know that is really truly great at what they do, they do it. Yeah, it's when I talk to young people all the time, or I want to break into the entertainment industry. Really want to be a director, and I usually say, "Are you doing it? I mean, do you have a phone?" They'll say yes. I'm like, "Does your phone have a camera?" Yes. Well, you should be doing it.
Just do it. So we're canceling T here. S is stronger. Do it. There is connection. So do sounds like oh. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. You know, everyone I know that is really truly great at what they do, they do it. So great at. Many of you already know this, but for some of you who doesn't, great at is just a way of highlight someone's skills. So he's great at communication. She's great at public speaking. You can always take this further, and instead of a noun after great at, you can use gerund and say he's great at building relationships because he's a great listener. Okay, so now let's dissect this sentence. You sounds like yeah, so it's short. Everyone, so no E, everyone I know, that is connection here. T sounds like a D here because we're connecting it. That is really truly great at. Same thing here. This T connects with the preposition great at. What they do. This T, similar sound, and we connecting them. What they do, they do it. Same thing as we just discussed over here. They do it. Everyone I know that is really truly great at what they do, they do it. It's why I talk to young people all the time where I want to break into the entertainment industry. Okay, break into, great phrasal verb, and it means to start a career in the entertainment industry in this example. If I say, how do I break into data analysis? I'm asking, I want to start a career in data analysis. I want to enter the field of data analysis. So there you go, great phrase. It's why I talk. So again, S is stronger than T and this T is silent. So it's why, and there's connection here. It's why I talk. No L, talk. Too young. Again, short sound here, so it's not too. Too young. Young people, all the time. Again, short sound here. L is canceling TH. All the time. Where I want to break into the entertainment industry. I wanna. And is canceling both these, and there is at the end. I wanna break into, connection here, so break into the entertainment. So in this case, the sounds like the because here is a vowel here. So the ocean, but the police. Okay, the entertainment. So no E here. Entertainment. Stress here. Entertainment industry. It's why I talk to young people all the time, where I want to break into the entertainment industry. I really want to be a director, and I usually say, are you doing it? I really wanna again, same thing. I wanna be a, I wanna be a director. And I, so again, N is stronger than D gets cancelled. And I usually say, are you doing it? Pay attention that the intonation, when you have a questions like that requires a yes or no answer, your intonation will go up at the end. Are you all right? Are you doing it? So in this case, yeah, your intonation goes up. I usually say, are you doing it? Are you doing it? So it's doing it, not doing it. Doing it, like one word. I really want to be a director. And I usually say, are you doing it? I mean, do you have a phone? Same thing with the intonation. Intonation goes up at the end. I mean, do you? Do you? Do you? I mean, do you have a phone? I mean, do you have a phone? They'll say yes. And like, does your phone have a camera? Again, does your phone have a camera? Yes. And like, again, and canceling the D. And like, does your, very short sound here, does your, it can sound like your, does your phone have a connection here, have a camera? And like, does your phone have a camera? Yes. Well, you should be doing it. Should, everyone knows the models in English. Should is one of them. But what I want to emphasize here is that if you give advice or a recommendation, then what you should be doing, you should be using should. So if you want to lose weight, you should eat healthy and you should exercise. If you want to progress in your career, you should talk to people who has already done it. Okay, so use should when giving advice. Well, you should be doing it. Yeah, should is short. Should be, connection, should be doing it. Well, you should be doing it.
I mean, I think that Steven Spielberg, before he became Steven Spielberg, he was doing it round the clock. That's all he did. And all the best things that I've ever been a part of, all the best things that I ever did, they were driven by passion and love. And this sort of quote unquote success or money was something that came afterwards as a result of that. So I think if you reverse engineer that, that's where you're gonna get into trouble.
I mean, I think that Steven Spielberg, before he became Steven Spielberg, he was doing it round the clock. So round the clock means 24/7. It means all the time. You have around the clock customer services where it doesn't matter what time you text them, in the morning or at night, somebody will respond to you. So round the clock, all the time. I mean, I think that, so connection here, I think that, this K is very silent. I think that Steven Spielberg, again, before, here's a short sound, before he became Steven Spielberg, he was doing it. Okay, he was, short sound here, Z here, he was doing it, connection here, doing it. And again, doing it. Round the clock, connection here, N is very strong here, round the clock, canceling the D and TH, round the clock. I mean, I think that's Steven Spielberg, before he became Steven Spielberg, he was doing it around the clock. That's all he did. That's all. Connection here, that's all he did. Okay, that's all he did. And all the best things that I've ever been a part of, all the best things that I've ever did, they were driven by passion and love. I have ever been a part of. To be a part of means to be involved in something. So if I say she is a part of their marketing team, this means that she's a member of this team. He's a part of their annual conference, which means he participates in this conference. So when you're starting a new job, or when you taking a class with a lot of other people, it's a great way to introduce yourself. So let's say, "Hi everyone, I'm Arthurs, and I'm so glad to be a part of this. I'm really looking forward to working with all of you and excited about the opportunities that yet to come." You can also ask somebody to join your project by saying, "Hey, listen, I really want you to be a part of this because we need your skill set and you're a great person." Okay? Great phrase. Great phrase. Absolutely use it, especially to introduce yourself. They were driven by passion and love. So when we say driven by, we most of the time we talk about behaviors, and behind every behavior there is something behind it, either motivation or emotion. So something that drives and influence this behavior, or people in this case. So these people were driven by passion and love. This project is driven by pure enthusiasm. Okay? Now let's break it down. You know, and every, so cancel the D connection here, every, and every, all the best, all the best, all the best. You don't hear much of this TH because L is very strong. All the best things, connection here, all the best things that I've ever been a part of, I've ever, connection here, been a part of, that I've ever been a part of, all the best, same drill, all the best things that I ever did, they were driven by passion and love. So, and these cancelled, and we're linking and with love, by passion and love. Let's try the whole thing together. And every, all the best things that I've ever been a part of, all the best things that I've ever did, they were driven by passion and love. Faster. And every, all the best things that I've ever did, all the best things that I've ever been a part of, all the best things that I've ever did, they were driven by passion and love. And this sort of quote unquote success or money was something that came afterwards as a result of that. So when we say quote unquote, we often accompany that with this body language, and it means that there is some level of skepticism. If I say, well, he said he didn't attend because quote unquote he was very busy, this means that I'm trying to say I don't believe that that person was that busy. Okay? So, and in this particular example, Ryan says that, well, he does not believe that success, he's making a point that success and money was not the primary goal of those people who were driven by passion and love, because they were driven by passion and love, not money and success. Okay? Came afterwards. Now, afterwards, to be perfectly honest, I don't come across afterwards very often, but I think it's important to understand the distinction between afterwards and after. So, afterwards means after that, okay? And it answers the question, when did it happen? So, if we look at this sentence, success or money was something that came afterwards. When did it came? It came afterwards. It came after that. So After what? After all this hard work that people were putting, that was driven by passion and love. Okay, I hope this makes sense. As a result of that, again, phrase that you're probably familiar with it, you're probably familiar with, but what I want to say is that how often do you actually use it? And the thing is, you can use it a lot in your reports. We launch a new social media campaign. As a result of that, our engagement rate has increased by 20%. We have streamlined lots of processes. As a result of that, we reduce the cost by 50%. Okay? Okay, let's now break this sentence down. Okay, and this sort of thing, again, same thing, and canceling the D, and this. N is very strong. It's actually canceling this TH as well, so this whole thing sounds like annis. So it's like a longer N. Annis. And this sort of quote unquote, quote, quote unquote, success, short here, stress on this syllable, success, or successor money, when you say it fast, or sounds like successor money, money was something. So here's a very short sound, something, that came afterwards as a result of that, cancel the F, result to that, as a result of that. Let's try the whole thing together. And this sort of quote unquote success or money was something that came afterwards as a result of that. Faster. And this sort of quote unquote success or money was something that came afterwards as a result of that. So I think if you reverse engineer, that's where you're gonna get into trouble. Okay, reverse engineer. When you engineer something, you take different components, you put them together to create a final product. When you reverse engineer, you work your way backwards. You start with your final product, you take it apart, you break it to see all the different components. You working your way backward to figure out how the things work. So this is the notion of reverse engineer. Okay, and now let's just break down the sentence. So I think connection here, reverse, stress and verse, reverse engineer, that you're gonna. So you are sounds like you're gonna, that's where you're gonna get into trouble. So this whole thing here, I broke it down for you, but let me just go through it step by step. So you're sounds like you're going to, gonna get into, T sounds like a D, N is strong, we cancel the T, trouble, get into trouble. So you're gonna get into trouble. So you see how this sort of big complex sentence or phrase becomes very short. You're gonna get into trouble. Let's try this whole thing slowly. So I think if you reverse engineer, that that's where you're gonna get into trouble. So I think if you reverse engineer, that's where you're gonna get into trouble. Okay, hopefully you'll learn something new and you find it useful. Let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.